Hi kids and everyone joining us today. I'm so excited that you guys are here because I'm going to continue reading out Bimbo and Topsy to you. So let's see what's going to be this new adventure today. Alright? So we're on chapter 5. Topsy wants a new tail. Topsy didn't like her tail very much. She thought it was much too short. She liked Bimbo's long brown tail very much indeed. I wish I had a long tail like yours, she said. Bones and biscuits, couldn't I wag it beautifully then? It is nice to wave a long tail about, said Bimbo. But I like to wave mine to and fro when I'm cross, Topsy, not when I'm friendly like you. Yes, I've noticed that, said Topsy. If I had a long tail, I wouldn't waste it on cross waggings. I'd have a marvelous time shaking it at every dog I met. You do know this, right? So cats, when they're a little, let's say, upset, they're usually the ones to move their tails. Well, I'm sorry, I can't lend you my tail, said Bimbo. It's a pity. Dogs have such short, ugly tails. Yours isn't much more than a stump. Bimbo thought quite a lot about Topsy and her tail. He wished he could get her a nice long one. And then one day he heard Jillian say something that made him feel quite excited. Jillian was talking to Imogen. She had a book on her knee and she said, "You know, Imogen, this book has the most lovely tales in it. You ought to read it." "What sort of tales?" asked Imogen. "Long tales or short tales?" "It's got both," said Jillian. "Look, I'll put the book back into the bookshelf, Imogen, and you can get it when you want a nice long tail." Well, when Bimbo heard that, his whiskers shook with excitement. So that was where long tails were kept, in books. How marvelous! Now he might be able to get one for Topsy to wear. So, as you know, T-A-L-E is a short story, but we also call it a tale, like T-A-I-L, which is actually a part of a body of an animal. So that's how Bimbo was a little confused. Let's see what happens then. He ran off to find the puppy. She was sitting by the gardener, watching him dig the earth. "Hello," said Topsy. "The gardener is awfully busy digging this morning. I think there might be hidden treasure somewhere, because he's digging and digging. I'm waiting for him to find it." "Well, you'll wait for weeks then," said Bimbo. "He's only digging a trench for seeds." "Listen, Topsy, I've heard something lovely this morning." "What?" asked Topsy. "Are we going to have something special for dinner? Or is Jillian going to take me for a long walk?" "No, something much better than that," said Bimbo. "I know where we can find a long tail for you." "Bones and biscuits," said Topsy, in delight. "That's good news. Where's the tail? Do we have to buy it?" "Oh no, we can find one in the nursery," said Bimbo. "I heard Jillian say so. They are kept inside those things called books. Jillian said there were long tails and short tails there. We'll find the longest one there is and get it for you. Then you'll have a lovely time waving it about." "Fine," said Topsy, jumping up and down and setting her tail going wag, wag, wag. "Come on, let's go and get it." Off they went up the garden and into the house. They rushed up to the nursery. There was no one there. The children had gone to school. "In that bookshelf, there must be hundreds of tales," said Bimbo, looking at the storybooks there. "Hundreds and hundreds." "Well, hurry up and find a few for me to try on," said Topsy, prancing around in excitement. "Where are they? I can't see any sticking out." "Wait a minute, Topsy. What are we going to do about the tail you're wearing now?" said Bimbo suddenly. "You can't wear two tails, you know." "Can't we find a black tail to match mine and tie it on?" said Topsy. "I don't want you to cut off mine. I shouldn't like that at all." All right, said Bimbo. We'll try to find a nice, long, wavy black tail. Come on, pull out 2 or 3 of these books and hunt for tails inside them. So before 2 minutes had gone by, there was a marvelous mess on the floor. Books of all kinds had been pulled out and opened. Bimbo and Topsy sniffed and sniffed at the pages, but to their great disappointment, not a single tail they could find. Well, that's funny, said Bimbo, sitting down and beginning to wash himself. I know I heard Jillian say there were long and short tails in these books, especially in this book, because she had it on her knee whilst she spoke. I do so want a long tail, whined Topsy, sniffing around the book. She took hold of a page with her sharp little puppy teeth and tore it out. But still, there wasn't a tail to be found. So she tore out a few more pages, just because she was cross. And then Bobs came trotting into the room. How he stared when he saw the mess on the floor. Whatever are you doing? He said. You will get into trouble. We're trying to find a long tail for Topsy, said Bimbo. That's all. Well, you won't find one in those books, said Bobs. I should have thought anyone would have known that. Bimbo explained what she had heard Jillian say, and then how Bobs laughed. He laughed, and Bimbo and Topsy saw all his strong white teeth and pink tongue. Whatever are you laughing at? Said Bimbo in surprise. Have we said anything funny? Bimbo, the tails in books are meant to be read and not worn or wagged, said Bobs, beginning to laugh all over again. They are not furry tails like ours. They are made of words that go on and over the pages. Oh, what a silly pair you are. Just then, the children came home from school and Bobs disappeared. I'm not going to be blamed for that mess on the floor, he said. Goodbye, and I'll expect you will have a fine tale to tell me when you see me next, but you won't wag it. Poor Bimbo and Topsy. They had a sad tale to tell Bobs the same evening. We got dreadfully scolded, said Bimbo. I feel very unhappy. Bobs looked at Topsy. I see you've lost what tail you had, he said. Topsy looked around to the back of her. Her tail wasn't there. Not a tail, not a wag to be seen. She was most alarmed. Oh, Bimbo, even my little short tail is gone, she woofed. What can have happened to it? It's usually sticking up straight at the end of me, ready to wag and wag, but it isn't there. Bimbo looked. Sure enough, there was no nice little stump of tail there. Topsy looked quite funny without it. You've dropped it somewhere, I suppose, said Bimbo. Oh, what a pity. Well, we'd better look for it before it gets swept and put in the dustbin. I don't want my tail to be put in a dustbin, wept poor Topsy. It was only a short one, but I liked it. It was so waggy. Oh, wherever can it be? Bobs laughed. He wouldn't join in the hunt. He lay with his nose on his paws and watched the puppy and the kitten sniff all round for the lost tail. They hunted under the couch. They looked under every chair. They sniffed down the passage. They looked under every cushion. It's gone, said Topsy. Perhaps Cozy came in and found it and chewed it up. Oh dear, Jillian and Imogen won't like me anymore without a tail. What an unlucky day this is. We look for a new tail for me and don't find one, and then I go and lose my old tail too. Jillian and Imogen came running into the room. Come for a walk, Topsy, they cried. Topsy jumped up in delight, and Bimbo gave a loud meow of surprise. Topsy, your tail is back. Look, look. Sure enough, there was Topsy's little wagging tail. How strange. But where was it? Barked Topsy. Then Bobs laughed and said, It was on the back of you all the time, Topsy. But you had been scolded and you were sad. So your tail went right down between your back legs and you couldn't see it. But as soon as Jillian said walk, you felt happy and your tail sprang up again to wag. Oh, what a funny dog you are. Hooray, I'm happy again, cried Topsy. I've got my waggy tail and I shall keep it now and not go hunting all over the place for a new one. Come on, Jillian, I'm ready for a walk. And off went the children and Topsy, and you should have seen her tail. Wag, wag, wag it went. I'm a happy tail on a happy dog. Wag, wag, wag. Wow, wasn't this a funny story? So much confusion just because of her tail. Well, let's see what happens next.